Which is most likely to be a discriminated operant? A, poking your peer similarly across all settings. B, grabbing your phone randomly throughout class because you are bored. C, spelling 200 words during a spelling bee. Or D, going to the door when the doorbell rings, but not when it doesn't. D, going to the door when the doorbell rings, but not when it doesn't. That's a discriminated operant. So remember, even when a question doesn't say best, or doesn't say most likely, or least likely, or worst, that's what it means. It's never there's one right answer and no other right answers. It's what is the most right answer, or depending on the phrasing of the question, the most wrong answer. So in this case, it's really clear. It says most likely to be a discriminated operant. So poking your peer similarly across all settings might be a discriminated operant because it may only occur with your peer, but it doesn't mention anything about any setting or any time where the peer isn't being poked at the same rate. So remember, a discriminated operant is a behavior that occurs more frequently under some antecedent conditions than it does in others. And a discriminated operant occurs more frequently under the presence of a given stimulus. Therefore, it's under stimulus control. And the stimulus under which it occurs is called a discriminative stimulus. So in this case, for A, there's no discriminative stimulus that's present outside of the peer, but nothing describes the peer not being there and there being a difference in rate. So, not the most likely to be a discriminated operant. So, for B, grabbing your phone randomly throughout class because you're bored is possibly operant behavior, but we're not talking about under some conditions it being done more and some conditions it being done less. Now, if this said grabbing your phone randomly throughout class because you were bored, but grabbing your phone less when you're reading a good book, then we would say that that's a discriminated operant because there are some conditions that it's occurring more and some conditions that it's occurring less. But in this case, it just gives us one condition that it's occurring, but doesn't describe whether that's more or less than any other stimulus conditions. And then C, spelling 200 words during a spelling bee. Again, this is giving us a stimulus, the spelling bee being present, that makes it where we're spelling a lot of words, but it doesn't say anything about us not spelling words at any other time. Now, it's possible that we could infer that, but this is where these certification style questions can get really tricky. We don't want to do any inference. We want to be like, what is it asking me? What's the one that's most likely answering that? What do I know about this? What's the answer that's most likely going to do this? So going to the door when the doorbell rings, but not when it doesn't, gives us two conditions. One, it's happening more. One, it's not happening at all. And so in that case, this is a discriminated operant because when the doorbell rings, we go to the door more. So going to the door is the discriminated operant, and the discriminative stimulus is the doorbell ringing.